Brace your jugular and just watch.
What's going on, everyone? It's your guy, Rye. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about Resident Evil 8, The Village. Well, let's get it going.
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil 8, The Village. Well, we left off the story where Chris Redfield and the squad come down to rescue Ethan and Mia. And now we're looking at the very first trailer of the game. And it looks like it's taking place a few years later.
Take him away.
Mia and Ethan have a child together. And now Chris and the squad has broke into the door and took the child. Is Chris the bad guy? I want to know. Is Chris the bad guy? Chris Redfield has been in 6 Resident Evil games as a supporting character or just the main character. So, me being a Resident Evil fan, I am very curious to see, is he now a bioweapon? Is he now a tyrant? Well, one thing's for sure, we will find out. And we also have Lady D, big tall.
So we finally meet.
So apparently she's a shapeshifter. So apparently she's a blood sucker. And apparently she's a vampire.
That's a huge bitch.
Wow, has the story taken a turn? Because it is made by the Resident Evil engine. Started off with Resident Evil 7. And looks incredible. Photorealistic. The lighting is incredible.
Man blood.
Now, let's take a look at him. Well, Ethan Winters. You escaped my little brother's idiot games, did you? Let's see how special you are. I won't let you down. Well, Ethan Winters. There you are.
My perspective of the game is if you enjoyed Resident Evil 7, or, you know, thought it was at least like a 7 out of 10, you're really going to like Resident Evil 8. I personally thought Resident Evil 7 was brilliant. That's because I played the entire thing from start to finish in VR. Wow! If you haven't experienced that, and you've never played Resident Evil 7, I was actually scared to go down hallways. Like, forget that. Like, yeah, you might be holding a controller and be like, ooh, I'm nervous, or whatever. And I had a friend with me that had to stay in the room with me while I played. Go through it, Rye, you can do it! And it was moments like that where I'm like, yeah, we're gonna go for it all here. Not being in VR, it's like, oh great, it's Resident Evil, I'm looking forward to it. I remember every time I played that game in VR, every time I put that headset on, I felt great, I felt confident, let's fucking do this, let's go, let's do this. As soon as you got into the save room, and you hit continue story, your stomach just sinks. Like, that whole loading screen is like, ooh, cool, look, I'm in VR. I can look to the left, I can look to the right. There's things going around. But then as soon as you get into that, like, save room, it's just like a pit is in your stomach of like, we're back. So, I'm looking forward to Resident Evil 8. The extreme of, story-wise, where we left off, we really didn't know much about going into 7 at all. I mean, like, in terms of the story connecting to other Resident Evils, I am getting a good Resident Evil 7 meets Resident Evil 4. everything you liked about Resident Evil 7 and everything that you liked about Resident Evil 4. And we're about to combine those two games. This is going to be the first time since Resident Evil 4 we're going to be able to upgrade our weapons. So I'm excited for that, because Resident Evil 4 was kind of horror side, because it did have some crazy parts, especially when a person turned into like a human centipede type of thing. Also, it had a lot of like fighting parts, and then 5 and 6 is where the story kind of, in my opinion, kind of drifted away towards more like just fighting enemies and moving on to the next area, fighting enemies. It got really far away from its roots of evil. I'm glad to see these remakes actually made. Like, whew, these remakes are amazing. One of the questions I get asked is, do I need to play any other Resident Evil game before playing this? I would say yes, at least play Resident Evil 7, because the story's connected to our Ethan from Resident Evil 7. If you play the remakes, amazing. So I would start off at 7, and you should be completely fine into going to 8. I do get asked is, what are the specs going to be for Resident Evil 8? On the last gen, at 4K, you're going to be able to run 30 frames per second. At 1080p, you're going to be able to run at 60 frames per second. And now here we are with the PS5 and Xbox Series X stats. 4K HDR is going to be at 60 frames per second. 4K HDR is also going to be supported at 45 frames per second with ray tracing. For PC specs, here's your minimum requirements, and here's your preferred requirements. Let me know in the comments section below what rig you're using, because I'd like to really know if you're going to be overclocking this game, or if you're going to be kind of running bare minimum. So the game comes out May 7th. The standard version of the game is $60. The deluxe version is $70 with a harder difficulty right from the beginning, a new filter, an art book, and other things. And a collector's edition for $220. And it comes with a sold-out statue of Chris Redfield, a poster, and a cool box. And if you just pre-order any of the versions, you get Mr. Raccoon Weapon Charm and a Survival Resource Pack. And I'll be streaming this live, so I hope to catch you guys there. Let's get it going.